Anybody please respond? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. So we were on molecular orbital theory. You can hear no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So oneness orbital of hydrogen and oneness orbital of another hydrogen, they combine to form a molecular orbital. This is oneness, this is oneness. Oneness orbital of hydrogen carries one electron and oneness orbital of the other hydrogen carry one electron. So we have altogether two electrons. Two electrons. I'm going to draw the molecular orbital diagram of H2 molecule. H2 molecule. So here two electrons, these two electrons will be going to the lower energy molecular orbital according to Aufbau principle. Orbitals are filled according to their increasing order of energy. So this BMO, which is having lower energy, will be filled first, followed by ABMO, that is anti-bonding molecular orbital. It is having higher energy than the combining atomic orbitals. Pure atomic orbital, pure atomic orbital. When they combine molecular orbital, molecular orbital. One is more stable, one is unstable. There are only two electrons. These two electrons can go here. Bonding molecular orbital is having lower energy and the bonding molecular orbital is having higher energy. Next you see helium. Helium molecule He2. He2. So here oneness orbital helium, one helium and another helium. So altogether 4 electrons. These 4 electrons are arranged in this first two will come here. Then the next two will go here. Now you look at this. The stability achieved by BMO is cancelled by the stability achieved by ABMO. In the sense, He2 molecule will not be formed. You can find out whether He2 molecule will be formed or not by checking its bond order. Another characteristic, bond order. We learned that the number of bonds present between two atoms is called bond order. Bond order is calculated by half into Nb minus Na, where Nb is the number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital and Na is the number of electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So here half into Nb, that is 2, minus Na, that is 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0, half into 0, 0. That means bond order is 0, means no bond is existing between He and another He. So He2 molecule does not exist. You have to explain by drawing this molecular orbital diagram and calculating the bond order. What was the bond order in the case of hydrogen? Hydrogen, it was like this. These two electrons are coming to this bonding molecular orbital. These two electrons are coming to the bonding molecular orbital. What is Nb minus Na? That is 2 minus 0. That is half into 2. That is 1. There is one bond. There is one bond between H, and it is a stable molecule. It is formed. This bonding molecular orbital is called sigma 1s, and this is called sigma star 1s. Number of electrons here, sigma 1s2, sigma star 0. So what is the molecular orbital electronic configuration of H2? Sigma 1s2. And He2 does not exist. Now, next, Li2. We are learning only homonuclear diatomics, means H2, He2, Li2, Be2, B2, C2, N2, O2, F2, like this, Ne2. Again, Ne2 will not exist. You know that these noble gases will not combine with other atoms. So He2 does not exist, Ne2 does not exist, Ar2, argon, homonuclear diatomic Ar2 does not exist. So let's go to next. After helium, lithium, Li2 molecule. We'll be learning homonuclear diatoms. So again orbitals are there. They are having higher energy, this 1s and 1s. So I am going to draw this down, and above that I'll be drawing that of next level. Energy. I think you can see this, yes. This side one atom, that side other atom. At Li2 molecule, Li2, homonuclear diatomic, Li2 molecule. Next is 2s, this side 1s2, 2s2. Similarly, 1s2, 2s2. So lithium, one side is Li, other side is Li. So how many electrons are present? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 electrons are present. So here, all the 6 electrons we are going to arrange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Orbitals are filled in the increasing order of their energy. That is Aufbau principle. Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity also applied here. That is, pairing does not take place until the orbitals of same subshell or until the degenerate orbitals are singly occupied. That will also be applied here. So lithium, is lithium stable? Yes, lithium stable, because in bonding molecular orbital, this is sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s. In sigma 2s, there are electrons, but in sigma star, this is unstable. This is the unstable situation. It will destabilize the molecule, and the bonding molecular orbital will stabilize the molecule. So Li2, you can calculate the bond order. You will be getting a positive bond order. Number of bonds between two Li atoms, you can calculate by using the formula half into Nb minus Na. That is half into 4 minus 2, half into Nb, what is 2 plus 2, bonding, Nb, that is 4 minus Na here 2, that is half into here 2, that is 1 bond is present between Li and Li, that is Li2 molecule. Now let's see, after lithium, beryllium, Be2 molecule. Be2 molecule. So this side one Be, that side one Be. So here it will be 2s2 and here it will be 2s2. The next 2 electrons will be going here. Of course, Be2 does not exist because bond order is 0. There is no bond existing between 2 beryllium atoms. Next, boron. There comes after 2s, there will be 2p. So let's see B2 molecule. B2. So here 2pxy, 2py, Z, 2px, 2py, 2pz. 2px, 2py, 2pz. Here again, this side atom, that is 2px, 2py, 2pz. For boron, 2px1. So here also you can write that boron B2 molecule, B2 molecule. Okay, so two electrons. So one will be going here and one will be coming here. See, there is unpaired electron. Unpaired electron means B2 is paramagnetic. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Altogether 10 electrons are there. There is bond between boron and boron. Due to the presence of unpaired electrons, it is paramagnetic. Bond order you can calculate. It is a stable molecule. B2 exists. B2 exists. Next, after beryllium, After boron, carbon, C2. Carbon, C2. So one more here, one more here. So these two will be coming and pairing. It is diamagnetic, no unpaired electrons. If there are unpaired electrons, it is paramagnetic. If there is no unpaired electron, it is diamagnetic. So that's about carbon N2. Next, sorry, carbon C2. Next is N2, nitrogen molecule. So here one more, here one more. So these two electrons will be coming here. Again, this N2 is diamagnetic. Calculate the bond order here. That is half into bond order BO. Bond order is equal to half into NB minus NA. That is half into NB. Calculate 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Minus Na. What is Na? 2, 4. So half into 6, that is 3, means there are 3 bonds between N2. We already know that bond order of N2 is 3. It is very difficult to break that bond. 946 kilojoules of energy is required to break that bond. Bond order is 3. We have already learned bond order. So this is N2. Now next is O2. The problem was that O2 was paramagnetic. O2 was paramagnetic. That's why a new theory was put forward, molecular orbital theory. According to valence bond theory, O2 was diamagnetic. That was a drawback or limitation or deficiency of that VBT. So now in the case of O2, oxygen is very small. Oxygen atom is very small. Another oxygen atom again small. When these two small means electron denser atoms come closer to form molecular orbital, what happens? The orbital which is lying along the internuclear axis, they experience very high repulsion. So this sigma to pz, this is pi to px, this is pi to py, this is pi star to px, and this is pi star to py. Molecular orbital names of these molecular orbitals. Then sigma star to pz, sigma star to pz. So when these two oxygen molecules come closer, oxygen, after that fluorine also, when two fluorine atoms come closer, the orbitals which are lying in the internuclear axis, we take it as a z axis. So they experience very high repulsion and they repel away far apart. So I am keeping these two far apart, means this will be coming down. So in the case of oxygen and fluorine, that is very small atoms, this 2pz will be coming down and this 2px and 2py means you have to draw differently here in the case of oxygen and fluorine. So this is sigma 2pz and pi 2py and pi 2px 2py. So here in the case of oxygen, one more electron comes here, one more electron comes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven, 8. See, there are 2 unpaired electrons in O2. So O2 is paramagnetic according to molecular orbital theory. Calculate the bond order, that is half into Nb minus Na, half into what is Nb? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 minus Na, antibonding 2, 4, 6. So half into 4, that is 2. There are 2 bonds between O and O in O2. So you can calculate the bond order. As bond order increases, the molecules becomes more stable. Okay, that's about O2. Next, Fluorine, F2. For the fluorine also, since the electron dense small atoms come closer to each other, their orbital which is lying in the internuclear axis, that is Z axis, the orbital that is 2pz will be undergoing a repulsion. So they repel each other, sigma 2pz, sigma star 2pz, they repel each other. They repel each other, and sigma 2pz and sigma star 2pz go far away. Now let's come to F2 molecule, F2. So here one, here one. So here pairing, pairing. F2 is diamagnetic, no unpaired electron. Next is what? Neon. Neon, that is Ne2. Will Ne2 exist? No, because here one. So Ne2, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Here it is 10. So this is 0. So Ne2 molecule does not exist. Ne2 molecule does not exist. So hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. So according to molecular theory, molecular orbital theory, Pluto is paramagnetic. It is very well supports the paramagnetic nature of O2. Okay. Right, one question. Why do bonding molecular orbital have lower energy than anti-bonding molecular orbital? Why do bonding molecular orbital have lower energy than anti-bonding molecular orbital? So to go to that, let's see this one electron from the electron means a wave. You can express by a wave function psi. Atom A, psi A, atom B, psi B. These orbitals can be linearly combined. That means psi A plus psi B and psi A minus psi B. Psi A plus psi B, psi A plus psi B will give you bonding molecular orbital stable. Psi A minus psi B will give you anti-bonding molecular orbital. So two atomic orbitals are linearly combined by constructive interference. By two waves are constructively interfered. That means one wave this one and the second wave like this. Now, if it is psi A minus psi B, in the psi A plus psi B, this is bonding molecular orbital. Electron density is between the nuclei of these two atoms. So the repulsion between the nuclei that is decreased due to the presence of electron density between the nuclei of these atoms. So it is highly stable. In psi A minus psi B, it is destructive interference. The second, this is psi A, and the second wave function is destructive interference. So what happens? That is this cause to anti-bonding molecular orbitals that is less stable. So here electron density is away from the nucleus. So there will be repulsion between the nuclei. So it is highly unstable. So write down the answer for this thing. In BMO, two electron waves reinforce each other. reinforce, reinforce each other due to constructive interference. Due to constructive interference. In ABMO, next line, in ABMO means anti-bonding molecular orbital, two electron waves cancel each other. Two electron waves cancel each other due to destructive interference. Due to destructive interference. Number 2. In bonding molecular orbit, in BMO, right, like this. In BMO, electron density is located between the nuclei. The electron density is located between the nuclei. By which repulsion between the nuclei is very less. By which repulsion between the nuclei is very less. In ABMO, electron density is located away from the nucleus, away from the space between the nuclei. In ABMO, electron density is located away from the space between the nuclei. Electron density is located away from the space between the nuclei. And hence the repulsion between the nuclei is very high. Repulsion between the nuclei is very high. In bracket you write high energy. High energy. Electrons present in BMO stabilize the molecule. Electrons present in BMO stabilize the molecule. While electrons present in ABMO destabilize the molecule. Destabilize the molecule. Next question. Why is O2 paramagnetic? Why is O2 paramagnetic? Why is O2 paramagnetic? O2 molecule is paramagnetic. O2 molecule is paramagnetic due to the presence of two unpaired electrons. Due to the presence of two unpaired electrons in the pi star anti-bonding molecular orbital. In the pi star anti-bonding molecular orbital. In the pi star anti-bonding molecular orbital. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
1 minute.
Thank you, ma'am.
1 minute, you wait there. Okay.